go. So that's we'll just class that as like a free plug for the PHS Summit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There
So yeah,
good.
Cool. How is Jim?
Doing great, buddy. I'm as you can see, I'm not in my usual setup. Lighting sucks. Background is weird. On the road.
Oh, well, that's the joys of being on the road, though, isn't it?
It is. I got to find a good travel light.
That is what. Do you know what? I have these things which aren't in my Amazon, which I should have put them in actually. These are Neewer battery powered USB-C, and they do. That one's got no charge in it, but they do a cracking job when you're on the road, and they're only little, so they are quite good. But yeah, that's the joys about like the technology we've got these days. It's so easy to kind of go live anywhere and still do your streams, still do as Amazon Live, still do everything, still see clients on the road.
Oh yeah.
So all of that is all good stuff.
Yeah. And I am lucky. This little Acer Aspire that I have does a really nice job with the camera and the microphone and everything. So I'm lucky on that respect.
Yeah, I have like my travel mic is this one, and again, look at the size of it. It's only small,
nice.
And so I can throw that into my case when I'm traveling, and it does a great job of making sure that no matter where I am, I can still get fairly okay quality audio. So that does help.
Good deal.
Yeah. Cool. So there's been all sorts going on this week in the world of hypnosis, but it'd be good to talk about. It's the UK Hypnosis Conference, like right now, down in London. So I'm off down there tomorrow. I'm speaking on Saturday at 4:30, I believe it is. So that's the most recent conference, and then after that one, it's PHS really.
I think There's no, you know what? There is one in between. Don't forget about the Bliss one.
Oh,
doesn't that happen?
Yes.
Oh, and you know, I think Elman is in January too.
Oh, cool.
The Elman one is in the beginning of the month, though.
Yeah, but that's just online.
It is. Yep. And I'm not sure. Actually, I haven't heard anything about it this year, so maybe it's not. I'm just looking at it right now as you entertain the lovely guests.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of online stuff and streaming stuff.
Sure.
But I think, as we know, running a hybrid conference, there's these challenges into doing these things virtually and online, especially to try and get that engagement and get that feel and that sense of everything. So yeah, but I think it does really well. But obviously, when you've got names like the Elmans behind it, it's going to do really well. So yeah. But yeah.
Interestingly, it's saying it's January 19 through 21 of 2024, but the links are still letting. So I don't know if they've just got the wrong dates, or if this is just old stuff. I'll have to hit them up and find out. Your news team will find out for you, folks. We'll contact them and find out.
There should be a thing on
next week.
Yeah, online. They should do it on blog posts. They should do it on website updates. But especially when an event is date specific, it should say this event was last updated on. Because I know sometimes when I look at articles, especially with like you guys have just had quite a big election over there. And then you go on YouTube and you see some stuff of particular people that have opinions on stuff. And for me, I'm like, is that one of the leaders' opinions before the election or after the election? And I want to know the context of it. And so knowing the time is a really important thing. And again, for when you're looking at websites for events, you know, if it could be a little box somewhere that says this website was last updated on this date, you kind of get a good idea then to kind of go, oh, this isn't. And especially for like hypnotherapists and stage hypnotists, some of them set up a website and then that's it. They don't do any more trade. They don't do any more business for years to come. But their website's still up there, you know, and it is almost unethical to have that stuff out there when you're not really trading anymore and people might be spending personal details through emails and stuff like that. So I think it's
Right.
it's an interesting segue into that kind of ethical marketing for hypnotists. So it'd be interesting to see what people do and what people find acceptable in this online world at the moment.
And I would love it if some of our listeners would chime in on this either now or later. Shoot us messages. We can cover it later, because I don't know, where do we draw the line? There used to be that it was like a website for fake doctorates.
Yes.
And I can't find it anymore. I think it was Brian Sanders that had that.
He was definitely involved in it, and it was interesting because that took down some big names in the industry as well.
Yeah. It was interesting too to read some of their reasons why they thought it was okay.
Yeah. I know when I see a hypnotist with the word doctor in their name, even if they're a medical professional, I still just think, So, but that's
and I think and I think that I think you've got to be very specific when you're using that term. If you're working in this kind of a field, when you're using that kind of if you got a PhD in writing, you certainly don't want to call allude to the fact that you're a doctor of hypnosis, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So. But it's hypnotists, especially, are intriguing in the language that they use in their marketing.
Yes.
And I think hypnotists understand the power of the words more than most.
Yeah.
But some of them do stretch that to its absolute limit.
Yes.
Lots of, the world's best hypnotist on a Tuesday as voted by my mum.
Yeah.
In tiny little letters on their website, world's best as voted by my mum. But it works for marketing. That's the sad thing as well. I've had clients that are kind of like, oh no, we've not had a hypnotist here for so many years, this and other. We had the world's best. We had the world's this, the world's that, and it didn't really work, or there was this, that, and other. And so it got them the booking, but it didn't necessarily do the industry any good. Sean's in the house. Sean, good evening. How are you?
Well, yeah, because they think they had the world's best. So if the world's best put on a lousy show,
Exactly. And again, you also get like the awards things that are out there. So you've got like we have it here in the UK. I'm sure you have it over there, like the three best. And it's the best of three, and you kind of pay for the award.
Yeah.
But then where do you draw the line on the awards?
Yeah.
Anybody can nominate somebody, really.
I don't even know how that's an interesting one you bring up, because I have actually gotten an email from those guys and said that I and two other places won that, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I didn't ask for it, I didn't pay for anything. They did offer, if I wanted to pay extra, I could have, a trophy sent, and I was like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything to try to get it. You know what I mean? So, I don't even know how they chose.
Yeah. Really. I remember I was at an awards ceremony a few years ago for another business I'm involved in, and it was quite interesting that I was in on two categories, one for the entertainment side and one for the business side, for the wedding side of stuff. And for me, it was a shoe-in on the business side of stuff. For the work that we do on that, I thought we're definitely going to win it on that side. And we'd done nothing on the entertainment side or the hypnosis side of stuff. And the person that won the awards didn't give us the one for the business side, but then gave us the one for the entertainment and hypnosis. And as much as I've been really pleased about it, it felt like because we didn't win the other one, they gave us this one. And it was kind of like, so for me, it was never really promoted.
Yeah, right.
Because I never felt like I deserved to win that one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Not that,
like I never.
not that I was sour about that I didn't do the other one, but it's like I'd done
Right.
no work to promote that. No couples had voted for me for my hypnosis show at their weddings. So how would that come about? So, but you know,
Yeah, same with that three best. I think I made a joke about it. It was like, yeah, I'm one of the three best according to somebody, because I didn't feel like it was a valid thing.
yeah.
So, yeah,
So Sean says always tread lightly when discussing hypnosis. We are not registered therapists, and there's a lot of the world's bests. Yes,
you are world's best dumbass, for example.
true.
Yeah, I think if you're working at a library or something, and you've got a PhD in something, and you call yourself doctor, I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. People aren't going
Mm,
to assume that you're something that you're not. But if you come in with a lab coat and you say, yeah, hey, I'm Doctor, whatever, and
yeah, the doctor will see you now.
yeah, and somewhere written real small on your website, it says, it's my doctorate's in, whatever, library sciences or, cooking or something.
Philosophy.
Yeah, but people are going to assume, oh, you must be a psychologist, psychiatrist, maybe a medical doctor, and it's really disingenuous, and it makes all of us that aren't doing that go, what are you doing?
Yeah,
And
and that's it though as well. There's two levels of marketing that we need to do. There's the marketing that we do to the general public to book our services and book in for one-to-one consultation work, for shows, for training, for that type of thing. And then there's the marketing we do to our peers. And I suppose that's the great thing about coming to conferences as well, is you want to make sure that the stuff that you put out there also kind of keeps you in a certain level of respect with other people that are in the industry. So I could turn up at a conference and come and see you, Jim, and you'd be like, love that campaign that you won. It's great. Really like the graphics, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to turn up and you'd be like, it's a bit shady.
Yeah.
It's a bit, do you know what I mean? And it's like, I think
Yeah.
sometimes once you see that in somebody, it's difficult to unsee it professionally. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I can. Some of these people are my friends. I guess I can still be friends with them, but like I wouldn't want to work with them on something. If they said, "Hey, I've got this great project," I'd be like, I just wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't want to be associated with that kind of unethical type behavior.
Yeah, exactly. It's our industry is on a knife edge when it comes to all sorts of stuff. Anyway, we've got to make sure that we're I say we as a collective are doing the best that we can to promote it in the best way that we can.
Yeah, because we got enough bad press, and it's a profession where the barrier of entry is so low.
Yeah.
In fact, I met someone one time at a meetup, at a hypnosis meetup, and he literally told me that he got into it because he was looking around trying to find the lowest barrier of entry into some kind of a profession, and he came across hypnosis, and it's like it really is, because you literally need nothing in most areas.
Here in the UK, and it's a great hypnotist that run the training school at the time, so I do feel bad bringing it up as a story. But the local the regional news jumped on some negative story about hypnotists, and to prove, their point, they managed to get their cat registered as a hypnotherapist through this organization, which again doesn't bode well
Right.
for the checks and balances and such. But the cat did the online course and was, had registered with this association to
Master
become
hypnotist.
master hypnotist. And it's like, so yeah, I forgot about that. I'm not going to find the article because the hypnotist that won the organization was a really nice guy and a great hypnotist. So, but yeah, it's the work that's done when practitioners need the money and the things that they do when they need money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But I'm always up for new ways of trying to market. But sometimes the old ways everyone seems to be hammering through that world's fastest, world's best, world's this.
Yeah, right. I remember who did I talked to? I met somebody at a conference. He sold himself as the world's slowest hypnotist. I was like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So Dan Goyette, who's joining us on Amazon, says, I had to take 125 question exam. I should have said I was a cat. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Maybe you identify as a cat, Dan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you identify as a cat?
Yeah. Now, Dan's obviously with the Michigan International Hypnosis Conference and editor-in-chief of the Hypno World magazine.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a great discussion panel that he's going to be doing at Michigan, which, yeah, I think it's stuff like this that should be brought up on that as well.
That was my recommendation, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw the recommendation. That's why I put it forward. I would stay on your tailcoats there, Jim.
Gotcha. You didn't have to. You didn't have to say we can be independently brilliant.
I like that. Independently brilliant. I must admit, I was trying to put together some assets for social media for the next coming kind of month, and so I asked ChatGPT to create some motivational quotes that sound inspiring but mean nothing, and it came up with some absolute corkers. And what was the one that I stayed with? It was something along the lines of, you can, what was it now? You can milk a turtle all you want, but it'll never be a cow. Which I thought was just,
right there. That's a thinker.
Exactly, nailed it. So it's going on a poster, is that? But yeah, again, there's lots of marketing that is there to make noise rather than deliver value. So yeah.
So if you're out there, just know we all think you're a tool. We may like you personally, but yeah. And stop doing the fake reviews. So we were talking earlier. I saw somebody. I was reading the reviews and it literally had their wife write a review because I know her name. And that's how come I knew. Yeah. Because they don't have the same last name. Come on, really?
Do you know what? I'll play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first set up my Google My Business, I wrote me a review.
Yeah.
And I know friends have written me reviews as well. And so I think when you start off, having a couple of reviews is fine, but you want to push in and do the work and get genuine reviews. When you see 5 reviews, and you can sense that they're not real. And I think when friends and family write reviews for you, you can sense it as well. When a client does it, it comes across differently. They talk about slightly different things. So yeah, the family review is frustrating because it's not transparency. If your wife, your sister, or your mother, or someone else says it, then they should say, like I said in my review, obviously I'm going to give myself 5 stars. But it was done as a comedy element. I think if a friend writes you a review, they should mention that in there as well. Because
hey, I'm his friend, but I do think he does great work.
Exactly, because otherwise someone's taking that review and they're going to spend their hard-earned money on that. And so that transparency, I think, is important.
Sure.
That's the word of the week, isn't it? Transparency.
Transparency. I like it.
Yeah. So, whereabouts in the world are you at the moment, Jim? Because you are traveling again.
Well, right now I'm in Arizona. That's why I'm not. As I said earlier in the podcast here, I've got to get some travel lights. I'll be looking at your idea list to find those ones you were showing me, newer. Because I guess I want to get closer. It's just terrible. It looks awful.
I must admit, lighting's a big part. I mean, I've just got these, but the remote is downstairs in the studio. But I love these. So this is it's a tube LED light, as you can see there. But that is going to go 2 of them either side of the monitors here. So they're like a meter tall, and so it should give me great light. And again, it packs down small. But I think lighting's really important for when we're doing these stream type things.
Dude, I think it's I mean, real. I think it's like, aside from sound, it's the second most important thing, because you can have a decent camera, and if you got good lighting, and it's weird because this camera on the computer is great, but it doesn't quite, because it adjusts to the light, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not good. But
well, the lighting can set the whole mood of the stream, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, since I'm a professional live streamer now, I need to be taking things more seriously.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, it looks. Wait, never mind. I shouldn't announce this yet. We'll talk about Pod Expo. Pod Expo, everybody, get go get some. Go sign up for the list over there. PodExpoLive.com. Dan Goet is the founder of that, and it's going to be kick ass, everybody. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, wherever you're at with your streaming or podcasting, that's going to be a great place to be, to kind of share the knowledge and make those connections of, I'm seeing more and more hypnotherapists and coaches going live now to attract clients. So doing that is going to really kind of put you on the map.
Video is king, absolute king.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've mentioned it, but Performing Hypnosis Summit in Vegas in 2025 is coming up quick. The workshops are still on the website. If you're interested in getting booked in, get booked in now.
Yes. And if you're looking for the schedule, it is in the group. Just go up to the featured section, as are the dates. I mean, we try to do a good job of saving all the really important stuff in the featured section. So if you need the hotel, any of that stuff, it's all in the featured section. You just have to scroll up on your phone or in your, you still go to the top, and you look over at the little boxes there, or the little descriptors, and it says featured. And when you find that, you'll find it.
Yeah.
Find the stuff.
You
can also search hotel. Yeah. You'll find it.
Yeah. And it's Black Friday coming up soon, isn't it?
Oh, I'm so excited about that. Yes, about 2 weeks, right?
Yep. Super excited about that.
Right.
And so we'll be going live on Amazon. And if you don't follow me and Jim over on Amazon, then please do get yourself over there, amazon.com/live, where we talk about all sorts of stuff. But do check us out. And you can buy the stuff that we use to go live as well. So that really does help.
And it's going to be live / Grant Saunders, live / Jim Kellner, either one of us. And we will have some special promotions going on. There's some brands that are offering discounts and all kinds of stuff. And we'll take a little more time to discuss the stuff, more time than we usually do, because that's what it's going to be for.
Yes.
To tell you about the products.
Yes. Exactly. Cool. That's it for me.
And that's it for me.
Take care, guys. Have a great week, whatever it is you're doing. And if you're at the UK Hypnosis Conference, I will see you Saturday.
Stay awesome, everybody.